everybody has already made an opinion on the whole content cop iDubbbz situation. And I want to understand, why is it that you continue to denounce your content cops? Because we're all in agreement, right? He seems to be the only one, especially because he's the creator of these content cops. He seems to be the only one that's denouncing them. So I think it only makes sense that we listen to what he has to say. So I decided to just look at his entire catalog of content cops to see what it is that he sees that we don't see. All right, let's get into it.
The entire comment section is just like nothing but fucking hate. And I get that it's from iDubbbz fans. I get that it's not you guys. I know that you guys like support me, but it's like, I know that this is just like the literal beginning. Like, this is just like 1% of what it's going to turn into after he makes this video about me. And I'm so like mentally not prepared for that. I don't know what I did to this human being for him to want millions of people to bully me and to like ruin my career and like all I have, and I know like crying on you now is like so ridiculous, but I just like don't know what to do, and I don't want to make videos if every time I make a video it's just filled with fucking hate, when that's exactly what like my brand is against. Create a place for people to feel good about themselves and to be happy.
Hey, Future Sonic here. I want to go ahead and kind of smack the hate out of you, just in case you happen to find yourself caught in a pit of hate. If you hate Tana and you've never interacted with her or even seen her in any podcast, how is it that you hate someone that you don't even know? I just want to go ahead and kind of remind you that you're in a hate bubble, and this little intervention here is for me to snap you out of it. The video of Tana crying, not understanding what's going on, like, that's her not understanding the hate that she's receiving. And what's crazy is that in that same stream, she was talking about how there were other big YouTubers that were warning Tana about iDubbbz, about how he can make someone look egregiously terrible even if they've never stepped on a flower.
Millions and millions of views and make me look like a terrible person. Every YouTuber is texting me be careful, like be prepared, like you don't know what's gonna happen to you, you could lose all your subscribers, like he's really good at making people look so shitty, and I just like don't know what I did to deserve it.
Which is quite telling about iDubbbz's character during that time. And so when he talks about how he's had a terrible fan base, it's because of stuff like this. He will cultivate and foster this culture of well-articulated fans that would wonderfully elaborate sentences of character design and backgrounds. But we'll get into that soon. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this particular moment where iDubbbz talks about how he felt like he was grandstanding.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not.
Now, I saw this clip in his video after watching his content cops, and I believe that this moment in one of the content cops clearly demonstrates what iDubbbz is talking about when he says grandstanding.
PewDiePie has 50 million subscribers, and he could do a lot with that. He could come on and definitely say, you know, that was wrong and racism is wrong, and having a president that advocates for inequality, racist acts, hate crimes, this could only be the beginning because of the person that is telling the entire world it's okay to be like this. We are the next generation.
Tana, you are not a social activist, nor are you a good person because you're bloviating on end about being against racism and being for equality and spreading positivity. If you really want to be this social activist character and you really want to be known for that, then go out in the streets and march with feminists and take off your shirt and write "free the nipple" on your chest and do shit like that. Because I feel as if that's sort of the impact you want to put out there on society. But if it's not, and you just want to continue being a basic bitch, then just say at the beginning of each of your videos, I'm spreading the message of equality.
And yeah, one can declare that she's coming from a position of privilege. When iDubbbz stated that he felt like he was the wrong person for the job, I believe that this was the moment that he was referring to.
I was basically like trying to walk back my Tana content cop. You know, I was still very like insecure and uncomfortable with the fact that I made that video, and but I was still coping. You'll see me struggle in this clip to, you know, say that it was wrong. That was a very weird video because I wanted to like criticize her for her like sort of flagrant use of it. I've been pretty flagrant about it too, not in the same way. Mm-hmm. I thought there was a message to be shared there, And I don't think it was particularly... It was okay in criticizing her, but I think I probably wasn't the person to deliver the message, if that makes sense. There was a message that I was trying to put out there, and I'm not really the person to put out that message. I don't regret making the video. I think, there's bits and pieces to take from it that I think are valuable, but, I probably wouldn't make it these days.
There is another subject where iDubbbz was talking about how he used to state a lot of egregious statements back in those videos.
Damn, this nigga's on the grind. But I think it illustrates the point quite well that we are very fucking stupid to hold the word nigger at this colossally high standard. Hey, everyone type Alex is a stupid nigger in chat.
Got him.
You motherfucking nigger fat.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah. Either all of them are okay or none of them are okay.
I believe this is what was culturing those well-articulated fans that would love to pick on character designs and backgrounds. I'll let you judge. Obviously, iDubbbz is very regretful of this entire collection of masterpieces.
Anyone who thinks that I should be shouting the N-word from the rooftops, I don't want to be your cup of tea. I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online. And that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid. I'm also sorry to all the black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay. And that's just so dangerous and stupid. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
I wouldn't want content online where I'm casually hurling slurs. I think you can even ask yourself that question. Would I care if I had videos of myself online hurling racial slurs? I think we can all agree that that wouldn't exactly look good for us. Now I want to go ahead and talk about the damage that these content cop videos have done. So he stated in that video that they were lackluster and damaging. I think any viewer of that time can definitely agree that a content cop during that time was absolutely devastating. Now the Leafy content cop is perhaps the biggest exception. That one is particularly unique, and so I'm going to refer to that one a little later in the video. I personally believe that there were many content cops that were quite unnecessary, at least given the definition of what a content cop is supposed to do, which is call out a content creator's hypocritical content creation. If the content cops were solely for entertainment, then that would be fine. However, let's not act like these content cops were just for entertainment, because they metaphorically stood as a beacon of morality, considering that viewers were constantly unsubscribing from whoever the content cop was made for. That is why when somebody says like this was just for entertainment, well, no, it wasn't just for entertainment, because there was a lot of people that were sending hate, there was people that were unsubscribing, and there was people that were just bringing hell to this content creator. That to me doesn't just sound like entertainment. If the person is terrible and they're up for critique, then by all means. But this is why I say that some of them were a bit unnecessary. And some of them that come to mind are Fine Bros, food reviewers, How to Prank It Up, Tana, Tech Destruction channels, Jinx. Considering that there are YouTubers who react to other people's content like Hassan, Asmongold. Another example that I will give is the Tech Destruction channels.
That's a big waste of money.
There are a lot of YouTube videos that get a shit ton of views because they go the route of excess. They'll use a shit ton of Orbeez in a pool. They'll fill a pool with Coke in the case of Tech Racks, or slime, or dry ice, or whatever. The reason I bring this up is because it speaks to the mindset that a lot of these channels have. They know that if you empty 1,500 gallons of pig's blood into a pool, that's enough to get views.
I mean, Mr. Beast does a lot of that type of content. That kind of content is called excessiveness, where, they'll say like, I'll purchase the most expensive hotel in the entire world. Or something like, I'm going to fill an entire pool with Orbeez. That's Mr. Beast content right there. Now, the channels that I feel like deserved it, Keemstar, Leafy, and Rice Scum, and that's it. It was just 3 of them. I know people are gonna be like, well, what about Tana? Tana was just lying straight through her teeth. Honestly, man, the way a storyteller is, they use a lot of hyperbole, a lot of overstatements, understatements, comedic timing. I mean, her story is not going to sound anything like reality. Keemstar, in my opinion, I felt like deserved it because he said a lot of regrettable statements.
He's a very rash decision maker, and he'll just say something before he even thinks about it. He has no filter, he'll just do it. And this has resulted in countless examples of him saying really regrettable shit. Total Biscuit, can't wait to report on your death.
Can't wait to report your death.
Now, of course, Total Biscuit is no longer here, which is quite unfortunate. Although Keemstar stated that he made that statement because he felt like Total Biscuit had a dark sense of humor, and so he would kind of get it. I don't know what to think about that statement because I don't know what the relationship between them were. He says that he never really had a relationship with him, but that was his hero. I do want to go ahead and say that he did apologize. I need to give credit where credit is due.
And I said something so fucking awful. And part of me was like, I know this guy. He's got a dark sense of humor. He's not going to be offended. The thing is like, I don't know. There's like a 10% chance that he actually was hurt by what he said. What if Total Biscuit passes away and I never get to say sorry? What if he actually was offended and I never get to say sorry? And that scares the fucking life out of me. Total Biscuit, if you're listening, I'm sorry. And to anyone else that was offended, I'm sorry. And this is something I've been thinking about for quite a long time. And I just want to get it off my chest in case we do lose you.
However, that's not the only thing. There's many more things, but you would have to watch the content cop because I don't want to bring every example here. Otherwise, this video would be way too long. But this is the kind of stuff that got him waitlisted for a content cop. Did he deserve it? Yes, he did deserve it. What's interesting, however, is that he actually enjoyed it.
Clown. I think iDubbbz Keemstar video is probably the best video we made. Now, obviously, I am Keemstar, so I disagree with a lot of points in the video, all right?
Whether you hate Keem or not, he was a sport about it, and I can definitely respect that. Now, of course, Ricegum as well, he would state a lot of things that were just really off. One of the things that he did get into trouble for was breaking Gabby Hanna's phone, which is pretty interesting because he stated that he didn't like being recorded.
You filmed at those parties. Filming's fine when people are okay with it. You weren't okay with it because you got bamboozled. Would you guys like to hear the juiciest bit of hypocrisy?
Probably shouldn't have through her phone, but I mean, if you're gonna record me at a party when I'm off guard.
This girl literally came up to me in person, didn't ask me, hey Rice, do you mind if I vlog? She just came up to me, camera already on, and I was so unexpected.
It kind of sounds like he doesn't like being recorded without his consent. How interesting.
No, but I'm not streaming though. I just wanted to call you.
Oh, you're not?
No, I just wanted to call you and just talk. Now people are like, hey, Reska was streaming. He fooled you. Don't trust him. Fuck out of here, you snitches, man.
However, if you watch the content cop, you would see that in the content cop, iDubbbz kind of points out the hypocrisy because he recorded a woman kind of opening up to him. And yeah, that is not exactly a good look for Ricegum. Did he deserve it? Honestly, no. And it's not because he's an angel and he just earned his wings. No, it's not because of that. But it's because he wanted that content cop. I think in a way he knew that it would kind of elevate him with some new drama because he wanted to start a diss track right after the content cop, which, bro, what? I don't think he deserved it. If anything, iDubbbz kind of did him a favor because he wanted to be more relevant. So I don't know. At least that's in my opinion. Now, Leafy. Leafy is a completely different story. Given the chronological circumstances, one can obviously assess that Leafy didn't exactly enjoy his own content cop. Now, before I go into detail, I want to go ahead and help you understand exactly what kind of atmosphere YouTube was back in 2016 and just how impactful a content cop is. Now, during that time, a content cop was such an influential piece of satirical content that the only way you were able to counter it was by paying your respects. As you can see, How to Prank It Up did exactly that. And the viewers in the comment section were giving him his praise and commending him for such an act. However, that strategy is very limited. You see, if the content cop hit the right person and they qualified for being a terrible person, you most likely had very little chance to stand against it. Now, Leafy did qualify for the terrible person category. He passed with flying colors. Nowadays, we have Abba and Preach, Destiny, Hassan, Moist Critical, Jamari. However, during that time, there wasn't exactly that many commentators. And two of the most influential channels were Leafy and H3H3. I understand that PewDiePie was there, Marcus Dibbles, a dose of Buckley. However, they didn't exactly have the kind of influence that H3, Ethan Klein, or Leafy had during that time. PewDiePie was just more or less doing his own thing, while the commentators were just kind of in their own sphere. And most importantly, they didn't exactly have a reputation for picking apart a person's content and pointing out their hypocrisies. And during this time, there wasn't exactly anybody who could really stand up to Leafy, because Leafy was unbelievably influential and he had a very unbelievably toxic fan base. So if anybody attempted to retaliate, they would be met with hisses in the comment section or Twitch chats. So this meant that there was really one channel in the commentary sphere that could really match his influence, Ethan Klein. But wait, what's this? Oh, he got exposed by Leafy.
I really just want to see his channel die out. I fucking hate him and his channel. Don't give Pyro a platform to defend himself.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Leafy and it's been about 3 days since I f***ed up, but today, man, I gotta get something off my fucking chest, dude. And trust me, you guys are gonna want to hear me out on this. I've been getting attacked by a specific YouTuber or person, someone who acts innocent when they're really guilty of almost everything they judge people on. The saint of YouTube himself, H3H3 Productions. I mean, fuck, a month ago he literally said this to me. Happy for you blowing up. You got a unique style and personality, man. You worked hard to get where you are, and you deserve it. Pyro is the real cancer of YouTube. I really just want to see his channel die out. Don't give Pyro a platform to defend himself. Pyrocynical is the real cancer of YouTube, and he doesn't even deserve a voice. But when Pyrocynical gets a little bit of dirt on H3H3, his videos all of a sudden become respected, way better, and deserve the attention. They're good. Respect. You know, that kind of reminds me of something. It kind of reminds me when he did the same thing to me!
Well now, since Ethan was down, there wasn't exactly anybody that could really say anything that would have a profound influence in that sphere. However, iDubbbz was still gaining subs from the whole Keemstar content cop. iDubbbz only had about 300 to 500,000 subscribers during this time. At least that's what I think, because I could not find anything on whether he had more subscribers or less. However, I did find a clip where he talks about how Leafy had way more subscribers than he did during that time.
Yeah, leading up to the Leafy video, I was like, I don't know. I wanted to be smart about it, and it was very much like the Keemstar thing. It's like a lot of people didn't realize, because everyone decided to jump on the bandwagon after the fact. But like leading up to it, I was very nervous because obviously like it was a big deal. He had many more subscribers than me. Many people told me like, this is a bad idea. Tons of people said, I don't know if you should do that.
I mean, he made my life fucking hell when I tried to, well, I did it so stupidly and badly. You were much smarter than me. But like, it must have been scary. And no one had really taken like major shots at him since then. And like, we got pretty fucked up from that.
And he also talked about how he had to take major precautions when it came to the Keemstar and Leafy fan base.
I was afraid, like, at that point, like Keem's avid supporters would, dox me or do whatever, this or that, send in the SWAT team.
Right.
But so that was the thing. It's like the day before I released the Keemstar video, I called my local police and I was like, put me on the white list.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I said, give me a call if anything happens. I did the same thing before the Leafy one as well.
Wow. It is that fucked up, though.
It is seriously. Like, some people are really just out of their fucking minds.
Those of you listening who don't like follow YouTube, like, it's that fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's serious. A lot of people don't realize it's that serious.
What's crazy is that on the other side of the spectrum, Leafy was also preparing for a potential content cop. And to say that he was scared is kind of an understatement. He was terrified for his life.
So now months go by, we keep in contact and whatnot. And whenever he's messaging me, he's always talking about iDubbbz and how he thinks he's gonna make a content cop on him. And he's scared for his fucking life that iDubbbz is gonna make a content cop on him.
So this content cop was going to be huge. And once it dropped, it was unbelievable. It was absolutely devastating. So many fireworks. It was such a sight to behold. Again, it was entertaining for all of us, but very devastating for the person on the receiving end. And yeah, Leafy could not fight this. He was absolutely ill-equipped and lacked the logical responses to even counter such a satirical piece of content. And this absolutely buried Leafy, and everyone knew it.
So all I do is keep telling him, just murder him. Go in as hard as you can, which I know he can't. He makes the video, and what he does, as he usually does, he sits and tries to justify every point or destroy every point that iDubbbz makes, which makes the video so fucking stupid. And let me tell you, that video is trash, just like all your other videos. Did I mention you're not funny?
Even Keemstar was left stumped because he could not fathom why this content cop was so unbelievably profound and why it devastated Leafy's career.
When iDubbbz made that video on me, I lost subscribers for 1 hour, and that was it. All right, 1 hour that day when the video first came up, I lost about 300 subscribers, and then I started gaining subs again. All right, when iDubbbz made a video on Leafy, he lost subscribers like at a fucking alarming rate. Now, why do you think that is?
One of my personal theories as to why I believe Leafy's career suffered so greatly from this content cop was because there was so much damage behind the scenes. I mean, think about it, man. He betrayed Keemstar, wasn't paying the artist properly. He hated people in his own sphere like Pyrocynical and started beef with H3 Ethan Klein. He made 5 videos on his supposed friend Keemstar, which was absolutely excessive.
No, walked away,
views.
but yeah.
Say the real reason. Views.
You answered my question.
Views.
I did make a little bit. I will admit, if you let me continue. Yeah. I will admit, the 5 was a lot. I think I could have really summed him down to 3.
Of course, nobody was going to have his back because he had done so much damage to his relationships. So there was no one to back him up. And here's the thing. iDubbbz talks about how he kind of wishes that he never made these pieces of satirical content. And personally, I think that they were important, especially when it came to taking down someone like Leafy. It was important because if that piece of content never dropped, then it would have never made a pathway for Nick from Hey Watch Your Mouth, because I believe a week or 2 weeks after that content cop dropped, he dropped his video, and it was exposing what kind of person Leafy was behind the scenes. So yeah, for Leafy there was no redemption. Even after he continued YouTube, he continued to bleed subscribers, and he received hate for over 5 years after that content cop. He even states it here.
I was getting hate for like 5 years. Keemstar was getting hate for like 12 years. What the f happened to this guy?
Against me, and I want to distance myself from it and keep it from...
This dude is a bitch, dude.
So I guess the last question is content cop really as bad as iDubbbz paints it out to be? I think it all depends, Now, of course, I'm going to go ahead and give you a solid answer because I kind of sometimes hate when people say, well, it depends. This is what I think. Yes, because there was so much going on in those content cops that were quite unbelievable and absolutely detrimental to certain cultures. I mean, when you watch that stream, like you can't help but want to cry with that girl because it was absolutely devastating to her. She's never received hate at that kind of level. And of course, iDubbbz will just casually throw out slurs, which isn't always exactly a good thing considering that a lot of these words have history and power. And obviously there's a lot of complexities behind these words. It's either all okay or none of it's okay. So many layers behind these words. Just providing a slogan doesn't exactly do any justice for it. Now, do I want these content cops censored? Absolutely not. I think they were important. However, we can't kid ourselves and say that these content cops don't exactly provide the best value when it comes to contributing something positive to the world. Of course, there's entertainment, but every single time one of these were dropped, people would always unsubscribe to whoever was the one on the receiving end. We know that creating our content will somehow lead us to consequences, unintended consequences that we can't exactly do anything about. It's just a part of creating such an action. Again, personally, I don't think they should be censored. They should be embraced. This is definitely a part of YouTube's history and we should embrace that and we should move forward with it. Nonetheless, that's what I think. You guys let me know what you guys think. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys, and hopefully you guys learned something today.